If you're ready to trade your boring weekend routine for an adrenaline pumping adventure, you need to hear this episode. Hi, I'm Sandy Bobal-Zuniga, the founder of Colorado Springs Town Tidings. Be in the know on the go for all things Colorado Springs, delivered right to your inbox. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Beth Orehosky from Extreme Bookings, the ultimate platform connecting real adventurers with trusted outfitters for everything from mountain biking to dog sledding. Welcome to the show, Beth.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am thrilled. Of course, I want to go on an adventure, so I'm thrilled to have you. And before we dive in to the wild adventures, let's start with you and your husband, Chris, right?
Well, not yet.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No problem. We're close enough to be like that, but
Okay.
but hopefully in the future.
Okay, so what are you guys local here in Colorado Springs, and what is your personal history with the outdoors?
Yeah, so we are local to Colorado Springs, kind of new to the area. My partner Chris has had about 7 to 9 years of guiding experience in Colorado. And then I come from a background of guiding as well, but it's been a little bit all over the place. So from Tennessee to California, Oregon and Washington, and then Chris as well. He's been also all over the country, been to Hawaii, guiding in Maine, California, all over the place as well. So we come originally from a whitewater background. That's how we met. We actually met in California. I was managing one of the rafting companies down there in Southern California, and we met there. We became close friends and kind of turned into more after we spent the season together. And we had this idea for this business. We were both kind of ready to do something more with our lives other than the seasonal guiding life. And so Extreme Bookings was born, and we've been uh, kind of helping build this platform for the last 9 months. So we're still a little new.
Well, great. So what brought you to Colorado Springs specifically?
Well, Colorado is like the perfect hub. I mean, it's so close to everything. And there's things to do here from epic whitewater to mountain biking to climbing, and even amazing snow sports, of course. And what originally brought us out here was because he has family here, so that helped us kind of get some connections. And then he's also been guiding out here for a long time. So we decided to kind of settle here in Colorado Springs just because it's just the perfect location for what we're trying to do. And we've been able to meet some great people and have good connections with the outdoor companies around the area.
Okay, well, that makes perfect sense then. And yes, Colorado is a hub of, you've got something for everyone here, and different levels, and extreme to fairly mild, and all the sports we can put in here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything except for, the ocean sports.
True.
So yeah, so that's but you could do a lot on the lakes. So that kind of helps the fix a little bit.
Yes, and the rivers for the whitewater rafting, and there's other things too, from uh canoeing and other things. You don't just have to go on the big raft.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, stand-up paddleboarding is like great for beginners. The inflatable kayaking has gotten really big lately, and
Mhm.
that's great for beginners too because you don't have to be afraid about if you flip over in a hard shell kayak. So, yeah, there's, a whole range of from beginner friendly to extreme sports out here, which we love.
Right, absolutely. So every great business has an origin story, and you kind of touched on that where you started Extreme Booking. But I'm wondering if there was a specific like aha moment where you looked at the industry in general and maybe had a personal adventure gone wrong or something that made you realize that the booking industry needed a massive shakeup, which is where you come in.
Yeah, well, you know, there's nothing out there that's specific for outdoor adventure companies. And we always thought that that was kind of strange. There's platforms for hotels and for restaurants and even real estate and things like that. Everything seems to have their own platform. There's Angie's List for home builders and
Mhm.
contractors. And so we were thinking throughout the season, it was actually kind of a an old idea that Chris had and kind of talked to me about it throughout the season. And I was like, yeah, why is there no platform just for outdoor adventure, extreme sports? And so when we left that season, when we left the rafting season, um, we started thinking about it a little bit more intently, I guess with intention.
Right.
and and we decided that we don't really have anything else to lose. Why don't we just try and create a platform just for these outdoor adventure sports that we love? And with a couple of nights of conversations and some confusing moments, we were both like, let's just try it and see what happens. And we did. We took a huge leap of faith, and it's had a lot of changes since then. But that's kind of the moment that kickstarted it.
Right. So you both created basically an outfitters directory for
Mhm.
people looking for adventure to have one place instead of just Googling
Yeah.
whitewater rafting, skydiving, or any of the dog sledding, whatever. You decided to create a directory that you vet people and then put them on there, and then not only do you have a directory, but you're also a connector. So we'll touch on both of those between just going to the directory and then also what you guys can do to help somebody looking for an adventure or a big group or a corporation, team building, anything like that. So let's start with the directory.
Yeah, so our directory is a national directory. Um, we have we don't have every single state yet, but it's slowly growing as we grow as well. But we take we take some time to research the companies and make sure that they're, number one, still in business. Number two, a reputable company. And we put them onto our website just like it would be like a TripAdvisor. So then people can either find that company, that's a trusted company from us, and then they can leave a review. Or there's also options for companies who want to have a little bit more visibility, which you'll see on the homepage, and they'll have like a little bit of a nicer profile, some pictures, things like that. And those typically get a little bit more views. So you'll see like 10th Mountain Mushing, like that's our go-to for dog sledding up in Idaho Springs, and they're great and they have a good connection with us. And so we try to like push people to those companies that we really love and that we really believe in.
Yeah,
Um,
I was wondering. So, like when you're looking for an adventure and you're thinking of jumping out of a plane or hitting a class four rapids, trust is everything.
it is.
And so I was wondering exactly how do you vet these outfitters so your users know they are in basically safe expert hands and not like a fly by night. So you said obviously you look at their reputation, things like that. Are I'm assuming because you guys were guides all over and have experience, some
Yeah.
of those on there are ones that you've actually worked for or worked with that you've had good experiences with, that they're run well and things like that. So kind of if you can explain a little bit how you vet them a little bit more. And is there more of a rating or anything um, that differentiates the ones that you personally worked with than just the ones that you put on there?
Yeah, we do we have a lot of good relationship with people all across the country. Like you said, because we've either worked there or because we know people who work there. We also know a lot of the business owners personally. So you know, the guiding world is so small. So it's like if you guide if you guide in Northern California, chances are you know somebody who you know who you've worked with who has also worked on the Ocoee in Tennessee. So it's all kind of like everybody's connected a little bit, and so that is originally how it started. Was we called up the people that we worked with, we called up our friends, we called up the people that we knew. And then from there, it was kind of like a secondary, like, oh, these people are great. And so then it
Right.
kind of went from, it's like the step down, you know, like we started with our base, and then those people knew people, those people knew people, and then those people knew people. And so it kind of just came around like that.
And since those are your base, were trusted
Yes.
coworkers or businesses, those who they refer, you trust them, so they wouldn't give you something. And then that trickle down effect was
Yeah.
pretty much even the ones that you may not know personally, they're still basically a referred outfitter.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's you know, it's like I trust my friend to give me the recommendation, and then, you know, he trusts his friend, and so on. So it just kind of, yeah, it just kind of goes down that line.
Okay, so you've got the directory, but then what sets you apart and what makes you special is you're not just a directory for a consumer looking for something adventurous. And again, we don't have to go extreme,
Yeah.
free falling and things like that, where you're going to go. It could be somebody who's just looking, like I personally am on a quest to prove my physical ability at a certain age. And I'm like,
There you go.
now I want it safe. I don't want to be crazy. I don't think I'm going to be climbing up a mountain with no nets or anything like that. Even if I'm strapped, probably not what I'm going to do, but I want to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I need to push my physical ability personally. And especially when I'm in my head, it's like, okay, when you're concentrating on something physical, you're out of your head a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm on this quest. So I would be just a single crazy chick kind of looking for something to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. But that you could cater to me, but you could also, your big thing is catering to bigger groups, like either corporations that look for team building or something, they want to do something a little bit different than
Hmm.
regular. To could be a family reunion that the family wanted to get together and kind of do something a little bit different, those kind of things. So can you speak to that? Because I definitely want people to know that you're more than just a directory.
Yes, yeah, for sure. The we like to call it adventure consulting. So just like somebody would hire a business consultant or something like that, we are not only do we have the experience and the knowledge, but we also have the relationships in order to be able to place people with the right activity for their skill set, and just recommend them to the best thing for them. Um, and and so yeah, so the way that that works is uh we take a little bit of information from the person. So like you said, you're looking for something that's exciting and kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone, but not too exciting to where you're jumping out of an airplane, right?
Where I'm not
So
going to die.
right. Yeah. So then what we do is we kind of gather information from the individual or from the family or from the corporation, and we make a recommendation based on what we think would be best for them. We love to push people and I say push lightly, but we love to gently suggest for whitewater rafting because we think that whitewater rafting, whether it's a class 2 river or a class 5 river, we think is a an excellent way to bring teams together because not only are you having to navigate this raft through a river that you are unfamiliar with, and so it brings people together, but it's also just so much fun. You get to get out and be in nature and try something new that you haven't done before and get splashed on the face and maybe mess up, but it's also very forgiving, especially if you're doing a river that's within your skill set. So close to here would be like the Browns Canyon, which is right up near where the Royal Gorge is.
Okay.
It's like the beginner section there. And
And that
so
goes through Canyon City, right?
yeah. Yeah, and so that's a great place to send beginners, but also families with young kids, and then also people who are looking for something exciting, but something that's not too dangerous. So we love to suggest whitewater rafting because not only is that like where our expertise is, but we also think that it's just one of the best things for people to come together and to create bonding experiences. And it's a good amount of time too. You're not just everybody's doing something the whole time. It's active. It's exciting the whole time. It's at least like between 3 to 4 hours, sometimes the whole day you could spend out there. Say like a Jeep tour where only one person is able to drive at a time.
Right,
And
right.
so yeah, so it's we love to suggest that kind of stuff for people. And yeah.
Great. So, as a consultant, you are taking everybody's ability and their end goals at the and to make sure that they get a package and they get the right outfitter for what it is. What if somebody has like a full weekend and they want you suggest the whitewater rafting, but they want something else? Can you go ahead and put like a package together or something so they
Yeah.
can have a full adventure for the time that they have and it's not just a single thing because that they can go right to the directory and contact them and get a single thing, but
Right.
the beauty of your company is now it's a full adventure, not just a single excursion.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm glad that you brought that up because we do love to do that too. So if people do have a whole weekend available, or let's say they're coming to Colorado Springs for the first time and they contact us and they're like, hey, we've got a bachelor trip up here and we're looking for some exciting things to do. Then, we can kind of gear them towards like, all right, so the first day you're going to go rafting, and then the second day you'll do a half day zip line tour, and then maybe the third day you could do a beginner rock climbing class right here in Colorado Springs in Garden of the Gods. And then maybe the third day we'll do something a little bit more relaxing, like a stand-up paddleboard rental or something like that. So a lot of this is obviously it's so warm today, so I'm like focusing on like spring and summer activities. But but yeah, we can plan a whole trip, or it can just be something where a company is looking to do something a little bit different that doesn't involve, taking everybody out for pizza or going to an escape room for the fifth time and want to do something else that's kind of new and exciting. So yeah, so we can do the whole gamut of it.
Right. Yep. I love that too. So you have travel agents and your adventure consultants.
Yeah.
They're two different things. If you go to an actual travel agent, they could put stuff together, but for anybody who wants the outdoor adventures and go a little bit more than the touristy type of stuff,
Hmm.
then your company is absolutely who they need to go to
Yeah.
because you are now looking at their abilities and the real life what can be done and not just, hey, oh, sure, there's this company and that, or you could do this and that. You're actually taking the people into consideration, which is extremely helpful and needed if you're looking for this kind of adventure.
For sure. It's a lot of people think that for example, with the whitewater, a lot of people think that they want to do class 5 whitewater rafting. And class 5 whitewater rafting it's exciting, but it's also dangerous. And, let's say we have this conversation with a family who they've already done the class 4, so they think they're ready to move on to the class 5. It's kind of our job to talk them, sometimes can talk them into that like upper, like moving on to something more exciting. But then other times, they have a 16-year-old that just his favorite part about the rafting experience is just getting splashed with the water.
Right.
And it's not necessarily, I mean, there's a lot that goes into when you're rafting at that high level. And a lot of people, it's kind of like the fear to fun ratio. And so you can get a lot of fun out of something that's class 3 and class 4 still. It's still just as fun as the class 5, but it's even more fun and less dangerous. And so we kind of help, steer people towards what we think is best. Based on what we of course, we're going to have limited information on the people, how much they tell
Right.
us, but
Right.
it's our job to make sure that they have not only a safe experience, but also a good and fun experience that's not going to be too uncomfortable for them. Especially this year. I don't know what the water is going to look like this year because we haven't had a lot of snow.
True.
Um,
Although the high country in the past couple weeks have gotten a lot more, but it is later in the season too. So yeah, it's going to be interesting this year.
Well, we'll see. I'm hoping we hope for the best. We hope for not too many fires and, just for everybody to be safe. But, also the rafting companies, it's that's their livelihood is the water, and we're kind of reliant on what happens during the season. And so, us having that knowledge about what the water is actually doing, that it might not be the best decision to go to, let's say, Clear Creek, for example. That's a very shallow, low volume river.
Mhm.
So, maybe try to take your family on a beginner rock climbing trip, or, like a mountain biking tour or something like that. That's going to be like a little bit more fun for them. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we love to use our knowledge and like, talk about like why these things are going to be like better for people versus, what they thought they wanted to do. It's like maybe we could think of a different venue for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because those who aren't very familiar, they 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 see the movies and they think it's a certain way. And
Yeah.
when they get there, they're going to be disappointed. But you already know that based on Mother Nature, which we
Right.
have no control over,
Yeah.
and your experience, and then talking to the different outfitters. So your mind is definitely um, there for them who want to have an adventure. And some people, they may have a limited budget and they're getting whatever together, regardless of the group that they're going or by themselves. So if they pull the money together, you want them to have a safe and enjoyable trip for that because they may never do it again.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's our whole goal of all of this is just to help bring more people into the outdoor adventures that we love. That's changed our lives. And so yeah, and so if we can get that family out there and to try mountain biking for the first time, or to try rock climbing, or um even indoor skydiving. We have an indoor skydiving right here in Colorado Springs. You know
I
that?
know, I did.
Yeah, that's so cool. So
Yep.
yeah, there's just there's so many opportunities and things for people to get outside and try something that's out of the ordinary. So
Yep.
we look for the opportunity to be able to give them that.
Yep. The outside, and you also know like those little tidbits that if the outside isn't working, there's an alternative, or there may be an alternative that can give you a similar experience. But
Right.
because, again, Mother Nature is not cooperating, you can
Right.
go ahead and help them kind of pivot depending on, how much they interact with you and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So let's move on to these extremists, the crazy ones. I mean, I like to talk about people like me who just want to push out of their comfort zone, do something physical, and prove that I can do it. And then there's the other extreme that people are really crazy, not in a bad way. It's just that's the way they're wired. So your
Right.
motto is real adventures, real reviews, real people. How does having a community of actual thrill seekers change the way we discover these hidden excursions?
Um,
Because they're the ones who usually find them first.
yes, it's true. There has to be somebody who's navigating the waters, right? So somebody who decided that I'm going to put in on this river and see if it's raftable. I'm going to jump out of a helicopter and ski down this mountain, so it definitely takes those extreme people in order to also have the beginner friendly version. So it's almost as if we had to have those extremists or the extreme athletes in order to kind of pave the way for the everyday people and the beginners, which I think is really cool. So in, for example, when we were working in California, the the owner of our company was one of the first people uh, to navigate and scout that river in a raft,
Oh,
which
wow.
yeah, which is so cool. He didn't know anything about the river. He just put on and just, with his friends, with the knowledge that he had from whitewater, and then 40 years later has a successful 40-year-old business that takes people rafting down all the beginner sections and even the class 5 rivers to up there in California. So yeah, so we had to have people like that in order for beginners to be able to like come in and realize that they can do the easy portions of it.
Right. And
Yeah.
so, which one are your favorite clients to work with, from beginners to the extremists?
Yeah. Well, we love everybody. I can't pick my favorites. But
That's like, which child is your favorite?
exactly.
I get it.
Right. But there is something really special about giving a first timer their first time experience. I know Chris and I, when we were guiding, we loved being able to take a person down the river for their first time. Just the excitement that they had, the maybe like the nerves that they had at the beginning, and then realizing that once they got onto the water, they're like, oh, this is fun. I love this. Like, I didn't know it was going to be like this. And the excitement, and it just like lights up their eyes. And so I love the extreme people. We're partially extreme athletes ourselves, and so of course a lot of our friends, very dear to our hearts. But there is just something wonderful and special about giving those beginners and the first timers an experience that they'll never forget. With any sport. I know I keep mentioning rafting. It's my favorite, but but same thing with mountain biking, and people, even just like right down the street here is an excellent mountain biking trail, and maybe a lot of people in town didn't know that they had access to all of these things, and being able to kind of open their eyes to all of the wonderful outdoor adventures that we have here is really special. So I guess if I had to pick a favorite, I guess it would be the beginners who are looking for a new experience, and then and then they realize that they love it, and then they
Right,
go again, and they bring their friends.
right. And then they advance.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do talk a lot about whitewater rafting, which is great. I haven't been, and it's on my, I guess, bucket list or,
Yeah.
list at some point. And so give us a little bit more of the other adventures out there. We mentioned mountain biking, and then there's rock climbing and dog sledding. That I don't do a lot of people do that, or is it kind of like an elite few that actually do that? Because that would be interesting.
Yeah, the dog sledding is a wonderful beginner friendly activity. Families love it. The first time that I ever went dog sledding was when I was a kid. I went out here with my family when I was like 10 years old. That and like snowmobiling, you can do snowmobiling tours too. It's a great beginner friendly activity to do, and the kids love the dogs, which you know, and it's but yeah, it's amazing because there's a guide, of course,
Right.
and the guide guides you into what to do, and so yeah, so you don't have to be seasoned or know what you're doing. Really, with any of these sports, you just kind of show up with a sense of adventure, is what we always say when we're doing a trip, like a trip talk, like a speech before the trip, is make sure you show up with your sense of adventure, and
Right.
and then an open mind and a willingness to learn, because of course you're going to have to learn a new skill, and sometimes it's harder for other people, but yeah, all of these things, that dog sledding is a great thing to do with for beginners. um and then like I mentioned, the indoor skydiving, if you're not ready to go skydive out of an actual plane, there's an indoor way to do it.
Right.
And it could be just as exciting, and kids can do it, so you don't have to wait till you're 18.
Right. Right.
And then there's amazing rock climbing gyms out here too, if you're not ready to be on the real rock yet. We've got great bouldering gyms here. So bouldering is like the without the rope, just with pads underneath you. Um, and uh, and that's something that you can even do by yourself too. So yeah.
Right. And then how about things like, so you mentioned skydiving. What about like parasailing and all kinds of things there? Because it's not only just Colorado, it's all over. So if somebody wanted something in the ocean or or something that we don't have here, you can do that too, right?
Yes, yes, that's right. We have a lot of connections from Florida because Chris is actually from Florida, and he used to be a parasail captain, so he worked on parasailing boats. We have a good friend who owns a fishing charter out there, so we like to refer people, if they're not really into like the whole extreme sports, but they want to do something outside, fishing charters is a great thing. If they don't like heights, parasailing's not for them. We do jet skiing. Jet skiing's a great activity too. But yeah, we have parasailing companies all over Florida, the coast of like Alabama, the Gulf, California too. So yeah, it really just depends on where people want to go, and we can kind of like gear them towards the right activity in the area that suits them.
So it also like snorkeling and maybe diving.
We do on our website, we have scuba diving, I believe, but we don't have a whole lot of snorkeling. I think it's definitely something that we could add, or help, I guess, like help book for people. Um but uh but yeah, We
If
we should.
there's a need, you'll put it on there.
Yeah, exactly. We should have snorkeling because people love snorkeling.
Well, and it's an introductory level. You don't
It is.
have to go deep sea diving. You can
Yeah.
do snorkeling, and anybody can do it in general, as long as you can breathe through that tube, which in I think it was college, we had to do that for lifeguarding.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I was very claustrophobic trying to do that through the tube. So I don't know if that would be for me, but a lot of people do like it and they have no problem. That, that's just me, my quirkiness. But I know one of the things I only did it a couple times in my life, but I really, really love wakeboarding. And
Oh
you can't really do that here in Colorado.
yeah. Yeah, I would have to do a little bit of research, but I think there might be some areas on the lake where you can do wakeboarding and skiing.
Oh,
Uh,
here in Colorado?
I think so
Oh,
on some of the lakes. Yeah, I don't quote me on it.
right.
I would have to do my research. Of course, I want to refer the right things.
Right, right. No, no, I mean, either way, whether it's somewhere else, it's here. If it was here, and I'd love to try it again. Now I
Yeah.
have a better sense of my center of gravity than I did when I first started doing that. So I think I'll be really good at it.
There you go. Have you ever thought of trying stand-up paddleboard yoga?
I've I've I would love to do stand-up paddleboarding in general, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but whenever I see it, I'm like, oh, I think that would be nice. Not only nice, but like if you have your own, because we can go on these lakes. There's some that are open to the public that we can go
Mhm.
on, and it just seems so peaceful.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It is. Yeah, I love stand up paddleboarding. It's a nice relaxing thing to do, and you can kind of take you can like even take a book out there and just sit on the board, and it's a really nice thing to do if you're looking to be outside but not, you know, not too extreme. And it's something you can do by yourself too.
Right.
Yeah, and I've heard that some companies, I've never done it personally because I don't have that great of balance, but I've heard that some yoga studios will take their people out on stand-up paddleboards and do their yoga classes on the stand-up paddleboard. I
I don't
would
know
fall,
if
I would fall, yeah, I would fall in the water immediately. I don't think that it would be very pretty.
maybe you and I should try that sometime together and we could both go ahead and be wobbly and fall off
Right.
together.
Yeah.
We'd be laughing probably the whole time, but
I know. It'd be good laughter therapy at least. Yeah.
exactly. I'm with you. Like I said, I'm trying to be more aware of my center of gravity, and I do a lot of balance things, but that I don't know if I could
Yeah.
do. But we won't know until we try in general. So that's
Exactly.
another lesson to anybody. If you're thinking about something like this, don't discount it because you think you can't. Again, going out of your comfort zone, maybe you're not the best and it's not, you're not going to be in Olympics or anything like that,
Yeah.
but maybe your level is to start, see if you even like it. And if so, then you can always gradually get a little bit better.
Oh, for sure. Everybody starts from somewhere. Nobody starts as an Olympic athlete, like you said, everybody starts from somewhere. And, while I'm pretty confident in my whitewater skills now, I had to learn how it all worked back when I first started. It was exciting, but also challenging. And it's just kind of one of those things where you just have to kind of put your best foot forward and try something new and
Yeah.
just practice at it. And yeah,
Yeah.
and there's so many good communities out here too, where if you did try something, if we did book an adventure for somebody and they tried something that they really loved, like let's say rock climbing for the first time, then if they decided that they really loved it, you can join a rock climbing gym out here and you can start going on your own. There's communities out here like there's a great women's mountain biking club that meets occasionally, and outdoor adventure is a great place to meet people too. It's
Right.
like the best it's the best way to make friends and to bond with your family and to bond with people. It's just great.
Right, exactly. So, because you have all of this experience, I bet you have plenty of stories that you can share with us. But I was wondering, when you think back of your whole career and maybe Chris's, what are, what's at least one story that totally you guys laugh about now or really stuck with you since you meet a ton of people. So there's got to be a few stories you've got that stay in your mind over these years. And can you share any? You don't have to mention names.
hmm Um, well, over my career, I kind of progressed with my guiding, and I was able to manage my last two seasons in California, and so I got the opportunity to help teach guide school, which is where we take like 12 people who sometimes have never even seen whitewater before, and we teach them how to become a guide. And so that's always a really exciting and rewarding experience. And we've we've got plenty of we've got plenty of stories throughout those times of like helping people learn how to navigate the waters in whitewater. But yeah, it's we just I love seeing the progression during those weeks of being able to teach people something new, and maybe having somebody who has never really seen whitewater just being like, why did you decide that you wanted to be a guide if you've never even done this before? you know um so that's always a really interesting, being able to hear people's stories. And it's like, well, I went one time when I was a Boy Scout, or I went one time when I was a Girl Scout, and I always thought it would be fun. It was just something I always wanted to do. So they end up at our guide school, and and then they end up just progressing so quickly, and being an amazing employee and an amazing guide, great with customers. And then they progress throughout the season just because of their work ethic, and they keep trying, um and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
What about anybody safely bounce out and have a funny story about that, or couldn't figure out how to put their equipment on or something that you just had to laugh and help them out or anything?
uh, we yeah, when I guided in Washington, they always had to have wetsuits on, and we would get a bunch of people who would put their wetsuits on inside out. um, and then it would always be kind of embarrassing. We would always have to tell them, like, you know you can wear it like this, but it's not on right. Like, that's why you can't strap it, because it's inside out. We would get people who would like sit the wrong way in the raft. Let's see. Oh, here's a good story. One time when Chris and I were guiding on the Kern, we were along with another group. So a group was going out, so we decided to take a raft and kind of go along with the trip. Um, while we were going down probably like the third rapid, this is a class 4 section of the whitewater, we saw a dog that was trapped in the middle of the river. And
Oh,
the
no.
the owners of the dog were on the side of the water. They were kind of freaking out, because this is not a good place for the dog to be in. Um, it's hard to explain where it was, but there was a big rock, and the dog was kind of in right behind the rock, so we call that an eddy.
Okay.
Um, there, the dog was kind of like safely but precariously, is that
Right.
right?
Yep.
Precariously sitting in this eddy. right before the falls, basically.
Right.
So imagine a large rapid and then the dog just kind of like sitting up there on the top. And so Chris and I go through this rapid. We see the dog as we're coming down the rapid. We uh we eddy out, which is basically just we go down the rapid and then we kind of pull off like we're like parallel parking onto the river.
Right.
So we parallel park onto the river. We immediately get out. We've got a kayaker behind us. He immediately gets out, and we run up there, and we call it live baiting, where one person is on a rope, and then the other person is kind of holding onto the rope, and we're attached by the rope.
Okay.
And so so we're all holding each other, making sure that we're not going to fall into the rapid. Uh, the other guy that was with us goes out and he jumps out and grabs the dog, and it's almost like this like movie situation, and he grabs the dog, and we pull him in, and we get the dog back to safety and get the dog back to the owners. And yeah, and I have not thought about that in a long time since it just popped into my head. So that's it was an incredible feeling being able to help the dog. It was kind of one of those things where we were in the right place at the right time, and
Right.
I don't know what would have happened to him
Right.
if we weren't there. So
He would have
um
gotten tired at some point and probably went into the rapids.
yeah, it was not a good situation, but I'm so thankful that we were there. I'm a dog lover.
Right.
We we love our dogs, and so I was just so glad that we were there during that to be able to help him.
Right. So were you on a tour when that was happening?
So we were not guiding.
Okay.
We were just going a lot of times when you work at a rafting company or you worked at a guiding any of these guiding places, you can go along for fun.
Okay.
So like let's say you're not working and a trip is going out, and so that's what we did. So we were just like, oh, we're not doing anything right now. We're not working, so we decided to take a boat out ourselves and go down with the crew. So half of the crew was paid customers, and then the other half was Chris and I, and then our kayak friend who
Right.
who was just along for fun. So
Right. So that was interesting because, yes, the right place at the right time, but you were also in your own boat, so you could go on
yeah.
the side and do everything. And so my question is, as he grabbed the dog, was the dog doing the doggy paddle on the way, helping him?
The dog was more like this, like get me out of here type thing.
Right. So
But
great.
yeah, I mean, he had a good grip on him because it was like, if he didn't like hold on to him, then the dog would have gone down the rest of the river, and that wouldn't have been good.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And the dog, I mean, they were so happy. It was just like homeward bound coming back
Right.
home.
Right. I can't even watch that movie because it would make me cry.
I know. Yeah. I recently watched have you ever seen The Fox and the Hound?
No.
Oh, don't
I
watch it.
remember this story back in elementary school.
Yeah. It's an old Disney movie, but I used to love it when I was a kid, and then I watched it recently and I was like, this is so sad. I'm never gonna watch this again.
I know. I mean, just like Bambi, you think
I
it's
know.
great. And it's just like in the beginning, it's like, oh my goodness. It's like starting
Yeah.
to cry and everything. And then I look back and
Yeah.
go, I don't know if that was such a happy Disney movie.
Right? Yeah, to be honest, a lot of Disney movies are like well, they're tear jerkers,
Right.
they're emotional. They're meant to be emotional, right?
Exactly. They know how to story tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then speaking of Disney movies and then with the dog sledding, have you seen Balto?
Yeah, that one I did see.
Yeah. Yeah, Balto's a great dog sled movie.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go, for sure. So, for my local listeners who want to break out of their comfort zone, say this weekend or maybe next weekend, what is and we've gotten crazy warm weather, so it's for right now, it's the end of February, it'll be March. It's just been crazy warm.
Yeah.
What is maybe one under the radar Colorado adventure on extreme bookings that they would absolutely need to try?
You mean like now?
Yeah, kind of like if they're thinking, no, this weekend or, or whatever, when they're listening to this, if
Yeah.
it's like the next weekend, what would be something that would be a short turnaround kind of? They're just looking for something. If they go on your website, Extreme Bookings, what's one of the things locally here in around Colorado Springs that they should look into?
Uh, well, I would probably say just because the weather's been so nice and it's not something that you would really want to do in the heat of the summer, I would say rock climbing. There's plenty of beginner rock climbing courses right here in Garden of the Gods, and they're beginner friendly. So it has a classification of anywhere from uh like have you heard of Alex Honnold? The he just recently climbed a skyscraper on
Oh,
Netflix.
yes, yes.
Okay, so that
I will
being the
not be doing that, just saying.
me neither. So that being like the extreme, and then like starting at like 5.5 would be like considered beginner friendly. So so yeah, so just right here in Colorado Springs is Garden of the Gods. Of course you can go hiking. There's so many beautiful trails around Garden of the Gods. It's also free
Right.
it's also free to park there, which is great. That's like you can't park anywhere for free these days.
True.
But yeah, so beginner friendly rock climbing course in Garden of the Gods. It's something that is wonderful to do when the sun is shining, but it's not too hot out. So the rock is not not hot also. It's not gonna like be like burning your hands. And you're not gonna be sweating too much. It'll be nice and cool. And you can go with a company right here that will guide you through the whole process, and it's like a half day tour. Um so maybe something even a little bit less extreme. There's a lot of companies out here that will drive you up to Pikes Peak, for example, and just kind of like tour around that area and see that. But yeah, my recommendation would probably be the rock climbing and Guard of the Gods. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be there, and might as well take advantage of the amazing weather that we've been having.
Right. And another one is that I haven't tried, it's on my list. I will do it at some point, is the Manitou Incline.
Yes.
Beginners can do that, but
Hmm.
and more extreme, as long as you've got grit,
Yep.
determination, and
Yep.
persistence, which I got all three of those. I may not have anything else, no other skills, but I got those.
Yeah.
And I will get up there and I will get down. But that also is something, although I think you have to pay for parking on that one. And I don't remember if there's a fee to get on it. Didn't think so, but don't quote me on that one.
No, there is I believe that there's a no that there's a train that goes up to Pikes Peak, but yes, it is just for parking. So you park and then they take a little like trolley up to the beginning of the Manitou Incline, and then yeah, and it's make sure that you bring water, make sure that you don't go on a day after it snows, because of course there's going to be a little bit of snow and ice up there.
Right.
Um and but yeah, that's a great activity to do. But
Have you
make sure
guys been there?
yeah, we have. Yeah.
How long does it take you to get up there in general? Say an average person, not somebody who's, well, for me, I always think of the end result. So I'm gonna I probably won't stop and enjoy the beauty. Unfortunately, I'm
Oh,
gonna be like, my goal is to get up there.
yeah. Yeah. It's I would say probably maybe 2.5 hours for
Okay.
an average person. And then the way down, you can either go back down the steps or you can go down along the trail. And And I
That's
prefer,
bar trail, right?
yes,
So I thought it was a no-no to go down the incline.
you can. A lot of people, most people don't do it. So I would say that most people climb up the stairs and then they go down the bar trail. Um, I don't know if there's really any rules on like if you should or shouldn't. Maybe it's just kind of one of those unspoken things like
True.
you go up, but then you don't go down.
Right.
But it's also it's so hard on your knees to go down those steps. So I, you know, every time that we've done it, we've always gone down the bar trail.
Right. And for anybody who doesn't know it, and if you're in the area, you do know it, but their railroad ties are the actual steps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and then they sometimes they get well, towards the end they get like taller and taller. And
Oh,
so that like one step is like maybe like two or three of the steps that you stepped up before.
oh,
So
I did
it
not know that.
yeah, not only are you tired at the end of it, but then it also like it gets a little bit steeper and a little bit harder. And so, you know, just don't, you know, I would say anybody who's trying it for the first time, definitely bring a lot of water, bring your sunscreen, go early so you have enough time, because you don't want to be hiking down at night.
No. Yeah.
um,
And if
yeah.
you can't make the entire thing, you can stop. And I guess that's when people would go down the steps because they didn't make it to the top to get to the bar trail.
Yeah, I think there may be a halfway point. I I can't remember exactly, but I do think that there may be a halfway point where you can stop your climbing all the way up and then exit and go down the bar trail.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know for any beginners that are leery but want to try.
Yeah.
We don't always have to reach our goals. The best thing is to get started and go towards them and be okay if we don't reach them the first time. You're
Right.
still closer than you were not doing it at all. So
Yeah.
it gives us a little lessons there too, just on the Manitou incline.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, it's like just taking that first step really and you know, and then the second time you do it, maybe you'll get a little bit further and or maybe it's a time you're working on, you know, maybe it's like it took you 3 hours to get up the first time. Maybe the next time it takes you 2.5 hours or,
True.
you know, yeah. So it's all about taking that first step. Quite literally for the Manitou incline is like,
Right.
yeah.
Pun intended.
Yes, exactly.
So then, if there's any outfitters that are watching this or listening to this, if you want to be in the right place at the right time, you have to get on the extremebookings.com website, be on that directory, and make sure that you're connected to Beth and Chris because they are the ones that are revolutionizing this extreme booking type of excursions. And so you definitely want to connect with them and be on there. And so others can enjoy what you do. And they can also make sure with their consulting that you're part of the options.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we love to meet new people too, you know. So if somebody is watching this and they, you know, they want to reach out, we love talking to new people and yeah, we love for people to reach out to us.
So, what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Well, through email or we just recently got a work phone number, so they're welcome to reach out to us on that as well. But our contact information is all over the website, so you can find us there or on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. So you know, LinkedIn, all those social medias.
And it's extremebookings.com and it's spelled XTREMEBOOKINGS.com.
That's correct. Yeah.
Make sure you start with the X.
Yeah. Well, actually we own both the Extreme with the E and the
Okay.
X with the X. So in case somebody misspells it, then they're also covered. But
Smart.
Yes. But for all purposes, the extreme with the X, yes.
Okay. So, Beth, is there anything else that you want my viewers, listeners to know that maybe we haven't covered?
Um, I think we've covered a lot. I would say, if we, like I said, we love to talk to people. And if you're curious or have questions or, just kind of want some advice, don't be hesitant, reach out and we'd love to help you make your first step in the outdoor adventure world.
Yeah, that's great. So, Beth, thank you so much for being here and inspiring us to physically step out of our comfort zones. If you're ready to find, review, and book your next epic outdoor adventure, whether you're a beginner or an extremist, head straight over to extremebookings.com. As we said before, it's XTREMEBOOKINGS.com. Conversations like this are exactly why I love hosting the show, because behind every great local brand is a passionate founder with a journey that absolutely deserves to be shared, just like Beth and Chris's. So, to make sure you never miss any of these incredible local business spotlights, make sure you subscribe to Colorado Springs Town Tidings at cos.towntidings.com. I'm Sandy Bobal-Zuniga, celebrating our city one business at a time, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.